Welcome to my channel. I'm Sugar Kitty Mystic, and today's video I want to show you how you can read any tarot deck regardless if you even speak the language. So I have 3 decks here to show you an example because every deck is different. Every deck contains different energy. You will get different messages depending on the deck that you use. And I hope to show you that here today as well. So what I'm going to start by doing is showing you a comparison of a couple cards. So this is the most traditional version of tarot. This is the 5 of Cups. Okay. Now this is my deck. If you've watched my videos, you will recognize this art style. I got this in Costa Rica, so it's in Spanish. I do not speak the language, and I had to learn how to read this through just using my own intuition, which is why I'm sharing this with you today, because it's possible and it's probably a lot easier than you think it is. So this is the 5 of Cups in my deck. Now see how the energy changes between these two. Here, it's kind of a vibration on the right of someone leaving something behind. This can be tied to endings. This can be tied to losing friends, losing relationships. This can be tied to not being able to see the glass half full and being focused on the glass half empty. Now in this deck, it looks like a guy drowning in a storm. This is more tied to emotional upset. This is more tied to struggling with your emotions, to struggling with things that are going on in your life, or trying to keep your head above water. So as you can see, it's quite a different vibe. And then I have this new deck that was gifted to me. This is the Wizards of Barge Tarot. And this is the 5 of Cups. It's the 5 of Curses. Completely different vibe. Now this deck is definitely the most unique I have seen. The vibe for the cards is very different. But here you have a ghost coming out of a toilet. Not exactly the same message, hey? So that's why I want to show you today how no matter what deck you're working with, you can learn the cards without yet ever looking at their meaning, without ever having to look it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull a card from this deck and walk you through how I would learn that card if this was my first time looking at it. And whenever you get a new deck, the best thing you can do is spend some time with its energy. Shuffle the cards, look at the cards, and try to really tune your intuition to the messages that this deck is trying to show you. So let's see what card this gives us. Let's see what card this gives us. I feel like it will be, you know, kind of a cool message. Whatever card comes out is a message for all of us, me and you. So here we have the 8 of Swords. So if I was trying to learn this card for the first time, the first thing I would do is I would visually look at the card. And I would look for what symbolism kind of pops out at me. So for me, and this is going to be totally dependent on you as a person, what's really important to know is that tarot uses your own symbolism and your own understanding to speak to you. So someone might look at this card and have a different vibe and a different story from it than I would, in which case this card would show up in different situations for that person. So tarot is entirely dependent on your personal understanding or the reader's personal understanding of the symbolism within the cards. So the first thing I would do is look at the symbolism. Now what really stands out to me is that it looks like the spider is like sweating. So here I get a very worried vibe, very overwhelmed. He's trying to carry all these swords. Swords often relate to ideas, our intellect, and the mind. So it seems like he's juggling a lot of different ideas to me, and he's kind of stressed out about it. That's what I pick up from the card. Now, you may have a totally different interpretation, and that's 100% okay. Now, the next thing you would do is you would try to listen to the card. So focus on the card and see if there's any noises that come up, any sounds, a song perhaps. Now, if you're clairaudient, so your intuition type is through hearing and listening, then this will be really easy for you. If you're not, it might be a little bit trickier, but it's still worth trying. You want to try and test all your intuition types when you look at a card so that you get a really deep understanding of the different meanings it can carry in different situations. So listening to this card, give me a moment and let's see what I hear. I hear cracking. And like thread. I also see a thread fraying. So this really is leading me to think that this card is showing me cracking under pressure. This card is showing me that something is not able to hold the weight of itself, or whoever is in the situation that this card is showing up for is having a really hard time holding the weight of their ideas or the tasks that they're trying to complete in this world. This is a very stressed vibe that I personally get. Again, you may not see it that way. It can mean something completely different to you. And it can mean something different to you at a different time. So I might pull it now and see that this is a being that is stressed, that is struggling and juggling many different things. I might pull it at another time and see that it is someone successfully juggling many different things. That instead of this being sweat of stress, this is a being who's excited. The eye could indicate to me that they can see their way through this storm and they're actually handling things really well. So it really depends each time you see a card what it means. It's important to treat every card as a whole new experience when you're reading tarot. So you can learn the meanings if you want. You can memorize what the traditional meanings are supposed to be. But when you pull a card, try to treat it as a whole new experience. And then you will get a stronger and more powerful message from the card. So yeah, the next thing you can do is tune into your feeling. What do you feel when you look at this card? Do you have any sensations in your body? I feel cold. Okay, so that's information. Your intuition is going to talk to you in multiple different ways. And for you as an individual, some ways will be stronger. So there's your eyes, there's visual, there's hearing, there's feeling, there's knowing. You may just pull this card and you may just know some things about it and you're not sure why you know. That's claircognizance. You could also taste something or smell something. That does occur as well. I am tasting salt when I look at this. Normally I don't taste, but I am tasting salt. Very strong and salty. Anyways, again, like I think this guy's sweating, so it makes sense. I'm tasting this spider's sweat. As delicious as that sounds. So yeah, tune into your different intuition types and spend time with each of the cards. Now, when you pull, so I'm just going to move these decks to the side because, you see this one all the time if you watch my videos, and, this is the most traditional. So let's go with the most kind of difficult, the one I'm still learning as well. Okay, so if you pull a couple cards together, the message will read differently. So let's look at how you can do that. So let's pull a message for you, whoever's watching this video. Let's pull a message for them right now. Just 3 cards. Does Spirit want them to know? Want you to know? Okay. Okay. Interesting. Like I said, I don't know this deck very well, so to me it even takes a moment. So here we have the Seven of Swords. So you can practice if you want while I'm holding up this card. What do you think? What do you feel? Can you hear anything? Can you see anything that jumps out at you? Your intuition will always get better with practice. It's like a muscle. You just work it out and it gets stronger. You trust yourself and it gets stronger. Okay, and then we have the Ten of Beasts in reverse. So this is a very interesting card. Ten of Beasts is normally the Ten of Wands. Again, you can kind of use your intuition here. That's why I'm holding it up for a little bit longer for you. And then we have the Knight of Swords, which is a powerful card. It's just cutting that guy in half. So now if you were to look at this as a whole, you want to use your intuition on the individual cards, and then you want to try and see how do they relate to each other. So if this is a message for you, how is this relating to each other right now? When you first start reading tarot, it will take longer for you to pull up ideas. It will take longer for you to string it together into a sentence and really know the meaning. But the cool thing is you will be able to feel a meaning. You will be able to feel the symbolism, to feel a connection to what you're asking, even if you can't put it into direct words like a reader does when they're doing a tarot reading for you. I know for the first few months when I started reading tarot with this lovely Spanish deck, I would pull cards and I couldn't necessarily say exactly what it was trying to say, but I could get the gist of what the cards wanted to tell me. And that's the most important part, right? So let's see here. As a message for you to kind of end off this video, what is your message here? So I feel like you've been in a period of waiting. You've been in a period of kind of holding back your ideas. You have a lot of things that you want to say to people, but you're worried about how you're viewed. This is changing though. You are going through a powerful transformation. I feel like you are almost cutting open the part of you that is scared, the part of you that is holding back. Now cutting open, because swords are always tied to the analytical, intellectual nature of things, cutting yourself open or cutting a being open can be self-analyzing. I feel like you're stepping out of, like, see how just kind of relaxed, like this guy looks stoned even. He's just chilling, right? He's got all these swords, but he's not really doing anything. He's just drooling. I feel like you are analyzing right now what is holding you back. And you are actually opening yourself up to being more of who you are with this Knight of Swords, to sharing more of your ideas, to going full force for the things that you want. So that is what I'm seeing as this message for you right now. Another thing that does help is to know the elements and what they're tied to. So swords is tied to the air element. So if you want to understand the suit of swords, spend some time understanding air. Now, you can do this through reading about it online and what other people think about it, or you can observe air. Observe wind, observe fog, observe storms. What spiritual messages do you get from those natural phenomenons that are tied to this element? Swords has to do with the mind. It's intellectual, it's creative, and it's changeable. So yeah, I've found personally that observing the elements is one of the deepest ways I've been able to connect to each of the suits. The Ten of Beasts is the Ten of Wands. So wands is fire. Now if you want to understand the element of fire, or the suit of wands, spend some time with fire. What does fire show you? Fire is often tied to our action power. Usually and traditionally, we tie the wands to things like tasks, careers, projects, and goals because of that connection to fire. Fire being our action energy, our action element within us. So if you want to understand the suit of wands deeper, spend some time with fire and ask to learn from it the spiritual lessons that it has. Cups. The suit of cups is water. So water is all about our emotional intuition, flowy, watery nature. So if you want to understand the suit of cups, understand water. Now you can even use astrology too. If you're having trouble learning from the actual element, what do you know about water elements? About the water elements in astrology. What do you know about Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio? They all share the same symbolism and the same themes that are deep within the suit of cups. And then we have the last suit, the suit of pentacles, which is tied to the element of earth. It's all about what we build in this world. It's all about the material world, things that we can feel, grasp, the tactile, our health, our wealth. So if you want to understand the suit of pentacles more, understand earth, play with earth, watch plants, interact with those interact with that energy, and you will learn very valuable lessons about it. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying this video. To be honest, I'm totally winging it and just sharing with you what I know. I hope it's useful. I'm going to pull one more card because we didn't do any major arcana, and I'm kind of hoping one pops out. Because they're their whole own vibe, right? They aren't tied to an element. Well, they usually are, but not in the same way. Okay, let's see. Major arcana? No. No, Knight of Cups and the Eight of Cups. You can take a look at these cards. See if your intuition has anything to say about them to you. Okay. So my camera battery is dying. That's why I cut off there. So I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully it gave you some insight into understanding tarot and how you can read tarot even if you don't speak the language of your deck, even if you have no idea what the cards mean. You will be able to use your intuition and figure it out if you practice, and you practice tuning into your senses and learning how intuitive information is downloaded for you personally. So thank you so much for watching. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below if you have any thoughts on it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. And thank you so much for watching. See you guys later.